My boyfriend's body odor is so bad that I'm considering breaking up with him. Am I the asshole? His pee-pee smells really bad. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 6 months now. The thing is, he's actually really good looking and he's hot. He's actually got an amazing body. He's an athlete. A few months into us dating, I started noticing that he was smelling a little funky. Especially when I tried to go down there, if you know what I mean. So I just never offered. Then I started noticing that he smelled really bad after every single practice. I'm the type of person that will always tell somebody if they have something in their teeth, or if there's something on your face, I'm gonna let you know. So one day I told him that he kind of stank and that he needed to take a shower. That's when he told me that his coach and his entire team are very superstitious and that they can only shower twice a week. Otherwise, they risk losing the entire season. This means I have to put up with him stinking all the time. Every time I go to kiss him, something stinks. So I basically stopped touching him. And this is making him really angry. I mean, am I a bad girlfriend? Go to part 2.
I never really talk about myself on here, but I think this is a story worth sharing. I was born with a birthmark in the center of my forehead. It looked very similar to a traditional bindi worn in the Hindu culture. I was told all my life by my family what a blessing it is to have this beauty mark because of its meaning, but unfortunately others thought differently. I would get weird looks from random strangers and was bullied at school for most of my childhood. Kids would call me ugly and worthless. No one even wanted to be my friend or sit next to me at lunch. And for what? Just because someone looks a little different or has something unique about them? Back then I really cared about what others thought. I took words to heart, and because of that I lacked confidence for years. And I'm positive I'm not the only one. I wish someone told me this back then, but being unique isn't a bad thing. It only makes you stronger. Embrace it.
Okay, part 2. Okay, so like I said, I walk in and this bitch is getting her shit rocked. Like, there were like 5 girls in there beating the shit out of her. All of them just look at me, so I walk out and go back to the classroom. And the one girl went to the hospital and the other girl got suspended. So back to present day. So after school that day, I get a ride with him and his friends to his house. Well, as we're all driving to his house, we realize that his ex-girlfriend's car is right behind us. And it's literally her and all of her friends. And at this point, my boyfriend's really fed up with her shit. Because she keeps following me around school, texting me saying she's gonna kill me, saying he got her pregnant, always says that he's been cheating on me with her. So my boyfriend pulls over the car, and at this point, I think it's a trap. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna let me get beat the fuck up. Well, he tells me to stay in the car. He gets out and walks over to her driver's door and tells her to get out of the car. So her and all her friends get out, and one of her friends starts punching him. While he's distracted with that, his ex runs over to the car, opens the door, and pulls out a fucking knife. Like for part 3.
This is why you should always lock your front doors. A kid living with both of his parents decided to watch a movie for their family weekly movie night. He then gets up to use the restroom. As he is in the restroom, he sees all of the power in the house cuts off, and then he hears 2 loud thumps. He locks the bathroom door and hears heavy objects being dragged across the hallway. The kid, freaking out, runs out of the bathroom and runs into the restroom. Once he is inside the room, he locks the door. As he locks the door, he jumps in bed and acts like he's asleep in hopes that this person who is in the house will ignore a child sleeping. He closes his eyes and hears the door creak at the same time. He squints his eyes and sees a man with no eyes dragging the bodies of both of his parents. The man dragging his parents sits his mom's dead body in a chair facing him, and then sets the dad's body on the floor facing up. It was almost like whoever was in the house who killed them wanted him to see it. He then sees the man writing something on the wall and then climbs under his bed. He laid there for hours knowing that if he moved a muscle, he would end up just like his parents. He finally built up enough courage to read the wall, and the writing on the wall said, "I know you're awake."
If y'all want to find out if your man's is cheating on you, ask the server at his favorite restaurant because, bitch, the situation I was in. So back when I used to work on my old job, I used to have this work best friend where we would tell each other everything. And she would tell me about her boyfriend troubles, and we would basically kiki at work. We were coming to work just to talk to each other. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So one day, it's my last day on the shift before I start my new job, and she's telling me how her boyfriend is acting mad weird with her, and she's like, I don't really understand what's happening. And I was like, girl, I know you, but I don't know you this well, so I really can't help you in this department. Whatever, I try to get her mind off of it because I'm a girlfriend. So I was like, oh girl, like I'm starting this new job, like I'm really excited. And she goes, oh my god, like I know that place, my boyfriend loves to go there, we go there all the time, the food is so good. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm really excited. So whatever, the end of the shift comes and I'm like, all right girl, I'll see you, I'll text you, like da. I did not think I was gonna have to text her as soon as I did though, because god. So whatever, I go into my new job, I'm all excited, I'm like, so I go on, I get sat with these tables, and as I'm going up to one of the tables, I see that it looks like one of my friends.
So 8th grade summer, there was this guy who was really obsessed with me and my best friend. But we both didn't like him like that. I had a boyfriend and my friend is lesbian. But me and my friends were still like cool with him. We weren't mean to him or anything. Anyways, me and my friend were getting ready to go to the park one day. And we're getting on our bikes and I get a text from him saying, hey, do you want to meet at the park? The same park we were getting ready to go to. But we wanted it to be like a girls' day and we didn't want to have to deal with a guy, so we were like, sorry, we're not going to be able to go. So we get on our bikes and we head to the park hoping that he just left. So we're riding our bike past the park and we see him. So we rode our bike so fast away from the park. And I was really hoping he didn't see us, but I turn around and he is right behind us on his bike. So we stop at a gas station nearby and he's like, oh my god, I thought you guys couldn't go. And we were like,
So I started getting really close with Julio, and he was always buying me gifts and clothes and taking me to my dance practices. And one day when he was picking me up from dance practice, I get in his car and he pulls out an angel necklace with a real diamond in the center of it. He told me that I was never allowed to take it off, so I never did until the diamond fell off in the middle of class one day and I never found it again. That same day that the diamond fell off the necklace, me and my mom get home and my stepdad was pissed. And we were just like, oh no. So we asked him what's wrong and he just grabbed my mom's phone and goes to the texts between Julio and her, which are extremely flirty and inappropriate if you ask me. He then started screaming at my mom and they started arguing, but they didn't want the neighbors to hear, so me, my mom, and my sister all get in my mom's car and my stepdad took his car. We drive to an abandoned grocery store and we all sat in the parking lot for a little. Then my mom and my stepdad get out of their cars and they started screaming at each other again. They're fighting for a good 2 to 3 hours, and when they were finally done fighting, it was like 2 in the morning and we went to go get ice cream. We've never talked to Julio again. Low-key miss him though. He was a really good guy.
My friend is back to do her own nails and use all my supplies, part 3. You might think her nails are real, but they're not, even though she tells everyone they are. She's taking off her old crusty, musty, and dusty gel extensions because it's time for a new set. Now this gave me the ick because me and Acetone are not friends. She's more like a frenemy. She always comes in here thinking she knows it all. She requested my tornado bit, like, who is you? Okay, let's get into it. She's using pre-etched extensions today because work smarter, not harder. Using the gel glue to stick those babies on and they won't be coming off for 4 weeks. I hope. She got hungry, so she ate her leftover sushi from hours ago. Then got right back to work blending the tip with her natural nail. Pretty aggressively, I must say. And you don't know how long it took to get to this part. Let me not scare you. She always claims her nail art skills are better than mine. She even drew her design on a little sketchbook that I bought and never used. Then she strayed away from all her ideas and went to Pinterest. The goal originally was spring nails, but I think she skipped spring and went straight to EDM festival vibes. Halfway through drawing, she got tired, used some decals, and tried to stamp them on with her nose. She said what people don't know won't hurt them. Top coat on, some end filing, and a little massage because I would not provide those services. Our nail days are the most chaotic, but somehow her nails stay looking good.
I took a pregnancy test and it came out positive. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. And that's when it hit me. I didn't know if it was my boyfriend's or my sugar daddy's. I had been seeing my sugar daddy for about 3 months at that point. So I went to the doctor to find out how far along I was. And sure enough, I was 2 months pregnant. By the way, my boyfriend had no idea I had a sugar daddy, but he also wasn't asking where all the money was coming from to pay our bills. Remember my influencer friend who got me my sugar daddy? She told me to just tell my sugar daddy that the baby was his. That way I could ensure the baby's financial future. I felt really bad saying that since I didn't know if it was his baby. So here's what I did. I told my boyfriend and then I told my sugar daddy. My boyfriend freaked out and told me to unalive the baby, if you know what I mean. And my sugar daddy asked me to marry him again. After that, my sugar daddy bought me a car and he opened up a joint account between the two of us so I have access to a lot of money. My boyfriend's just mad all the time now. My sugar daddy's being so sweet. Part 3 is up.
So a while ago, I was at this really big family event. It's called the Washer Tournament, and we do it every single year. So everybody in the neighborhood knows that we do this family event, but nobody ever comes. And this is very important for the rest of the story time. So while we were all at the family event, my little cousin and my brother were being very extremely annoying. And I think my aunt noticed, so she ended up giving me and my older cousin some money. And she was like, here you guys go. You guys could go walk to go get some ice cream. So we were like, oh, okay, bet. So me and my cousin started walking down to the ice cream store. We got there, we got our ice cream, all that good stuff. When we were done getting our ice cream, we started walking back to my aunt's house. So then right when we were about to turn the corner to go onto my aunt's street, this white Suburban literally pulls up right next to us. They had the windows down and of course we turned around and looked and we seen that it was an old couple inside. So then the lady was like, oh, hi, we know your parents and we're gonna go to their house right now. Do you want us to drive you the rest of the way there? Now keep in mind, at the time I was only 8 or 9 years old. So my older cousin pushed me behind her and she was like, no, we're good.
This is the reason why everybody thought I dropped out of high school. Over the 4 years of high school, I was probably in school a total of 100 times altogether. And this wasn't because I was lazy. I mean, partially. But it was mostly because I had really bad stomach problems. So I always had these doctor's appointments. I was always missing school because my stomach hurt. So then my junior year, since my attendance was really, really bad, they decided to put me on home instruction. This means that teachers will come to my house for about 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. And my teachers had to bring with them these time slips. For example, saying that they saw me from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And when I was a minor, my dad had to sign it. And when they hand in those time slips, those are the hours they're getting paid for. So I had this one teacher. She was my history teacher, but we would literally just gossip the entire time. She was mad chill. Sometimes, though, she would cancel on me, and sometimes I would cancel on her. But this was my senior year, so I was 18. So I was able to sign the time slips. So I saw her once a month when I was supposed to see her 4 times a month. So every time she came, I signed 4 time slips.
My husband convinced me to get a job at his company, hoping it would help him stop cheating. So my husband, 36 male, and I, 35 female, are high school sweethearts. We got pregnant in high school, dated for a few years after we had our baby, and we decided we did want to get married. Through every single up and down, we were there for one another. I honestly didn't think we could have a more perfect relationship. It's something I have been so proud about most of my life. Almost 4 months ago, my husband asked me to get a job at his company. Before this, I had just been working part-time jobs because we didn't really need the money since we weren't financially responsible for a child anymore. However, we agreed the extra money would be lovely to go towards our family trip funds, something we both and our son add to as often as possible. Our hope being to take a family vacation across Europe for a few months. And we are trying to make it happen sooner than later because our son is recently married. We want them to be able to still go on one trip without worrying about a new baby. Once I got that job, I thought it was such a great decision. I was making quite a bit of extra money and seeing my husband so much more. Well, a couple of weeks ago, one of his coworkers approached me and asked how I could be so cool with the ongoing situation. I had no idea what she was talking